2 years explaining all the different persons here. But as I told you, Geneva was a Catholic city, and then during the 16th and 17th century, the religion was changing, and we have reformers. They came from abroad. For example, from the left to the right, the big statues were Farel, Calvin, Théodore de Bèze, all Catholic and all from France. And the man on the right-hand side is John Knox from Scotland. And they came here in order to change the religion. And then we have different persons from Germany, from France. Maybe the one on the right-hand side with the hat is Roger William. He went with a special boat called Mayflower from England to Rhode Island in order to create a new Christian colony. And then we have a huge sentence on the top, post tenebras lux. That means after the darkness comes the light. In the Catholic Church we have a huge hierarchy, the Pope and then Cardinal, Bishop and so on, and then the end the population. And on that time they were not able to read the Bible because it was written in Latin. And only men are leading the church. They are not allowed to be married, they are not allowed to have children. It's a very strict church. And the Protestant church is led by men or women. They can have married, they can be married, they can have children. It's just a normal job. So for that reason, the light is going back to the Protestant religion because it's the first path for the democracy. Everybody can read the Bible. John Knox on the right-hand side was translating it in Geneva Bible, English. Then Calvin's nephew in French, Luther in German, and then people could read exactly. Wow. And all the movement came through Luther. We have a big boulder, and Luther was the man, he was a Catholic man who put 95 theses against his door in Wittenberg, Germany. And he said, we have to stop the power of the Pope, because the Pope is the same as you are. Nobody, not very on the top, and he's, as a judge, he said, you are good, you are bad. Why? He. So they said, we are going to abolish the authority of the Pope. And then also the people had to pay a lot of money to the church. So he said, in the Bible, you have the Quran, and the Jewish people, they have the Torah. I mean, nothing is written that you have to give money to the church. So they said, we are going to abolish them. And it's called indulgences. If you were rich, you were buying a ticket to go to paradise. If you were poor, you were condemned to go to hell. So of course, they said, we are going back to the Bible. We are going to read the Bible. Once we are dying, only God will judge. You have been a good man, or you have been a very bad man. And then they didn't want to create a new religion, just the movement was so strong, they wanted to reform this church, so that isn't Reformation. But the movement was so big that they create a separation between Catholic and Protestant. And today we are, as in the Muslim religion, Shiite and Sunni, we have Catholic and Protestant. And I would emphasize that this visit of the Pope here is incredible, because really we are called the Calvinist city, the Protestant Rome. So the Pope is a Catholic and he's Catholic. But I have to tell you the truth, I am Protestant, they had a lot of popes, very strict one, the king, the big gold ring and so on, a huge, I mean, the Pope is coming here, is costing 2.6 million of Swiss francs. Half of it for the security of the Pope. And still 1 million is missing. We don't know who is going to pay. 1 million is missing. And he's arriving on Thursday, so we don't know. And they said maybe we can ask the people, because if everybody is paying 50 francs, and they said no. Normally, and that is typically Protestant, we don't pay anything for the church. But anyhow, he's coming here, and it's astonishing that Pope, I would say, is really a good one. He's from Argentina, but originally Italian one, Francesco. And he doesn't want to live in the Vatican. He's living in a small apartment. He washed the feet of a refugee to show he's a humble man. I am very close. I think the man was from Africa, and he was washing him and telling everybody he's in favor of that all the population, even the homosexual, they are also humankind. But then he has a huge hierarchy, just beautiful. But he as a man is really, I think he's putting unity of the different religion, what we need especially today through the world. Of course, because we have all the same question. From where do you come and where are we going? Nobody can ask. If I ask you, are you afraid about death? Where do you go? And then you ask about me, I ask about you. Nobody knows, because nobody came back to say, I know where we are going.
I've been
So
there.
it's a big, big question for everybody.
exactly.
And we have all the same. If we are Muslim or Jewish or Christian or whatever, we have all the same question. And I would say the best is to be nice with the neighbor. So we are sure to have the good
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
No, really.
Yeah.